Rivers here with Somecooltech Podcast number 4, and I'm here with Joel from Simple Tech Review and Owen, the tech aficionado. Hey guys, how's it going?
Great.
Hey, yeah, good.
And so we're just going to talk about a little bit of news in the tech world, and let's just kick it right off with let's take a look at the new Nvidia Shield console. So it's an Android-based gaming console, and it's got the Nvidia Targa X1 processor in it. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture. Are you guys pretty familiar with this?
Well, I did a little bit of research. So I guess this got announced partially at GDC. They might be showing it off at PAX East this week, but I know you're a big fan of Android consoles and stuff. This one, price point wise, is a little higher than your usual one. I think it's coming in at $199 right now. But some of the things that are pretty interesting about it is that, at least spec-wise, that Tegra X1 chip is actually rated to push 4K, 60 hertz.
That's what I saw. It can do 4K.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I don't know if PlayStation or Xbox One, do they do 4K? I don't have either one, but...
No, they do not. So it'll be interesting to see what this little guy can do. At $200 is a nice price point, and it seems like it's going to do a couple things. Like, one is it's going to handle streaming from your PC, kind of like some of the Shield hardware currently does with the Shield tablet and I guess just the Shield controller. Those are Android consoles that also stream from your PC if you have a compatible Nvidia card. This one also seems like it's going to be much more of a standalone system where Nvidia is actually working on porting games like Crysis 3 and Street Fighter and a couple other big-name titles that are on PC. They're actually working to port those to Android so they work on this console.
You had me at Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Me and Joel love Street Fighter. We played it a lot as kids. But anyways, let me go ahead and mention some of the specs of it here. So it's going to have Android TV, so that's Lollipop 5.0. It's going to have the Nvidia Targa X1 processor with 256 cores. It's supposed to, so according to Nvidia, we're not sure, how it's going to real world perform, but it says it has twice the floating point performance of an Xbox 360. It's got, the GPU Maxwell core, 256 Maxwell cores. It's going to have 3 gigs of RAM. That's pretty crazy. 16 gigs of onboard storage, which would actually, I think you could use more of that, but I think it is going to also have an SD card slot, so that would help out. 2 HDMI and 2 USB 3.0 ports, and it is going to have micro USB and micro SD cards and Ethernet, which is nice. Wireless controllers, and 4K at 60 frames a second, and then it says play capture also, so we'll see on that. But that's pretty amazing right there if it has all those things.
And yeah, just doing a quick rundown on some of the titles they have on their gaming list. They have Crysis 3, Metal Gear Rising, Resident Evil 5. So these are titles that I guess they have worked to port kind of from a Windows environment to a full Android environment. So in theory, I guess they could run on other hardware, but I think Nvidia is footing the bill for a lot of the ports and stuff to make sure that it works on their hardware. Because, we've seen stuff where there's tons of games on the Android marketplace that don't necessarily play on the Nexus player or the Fire TV, or if they do, they don't have full controller support. So this one is going to have full controller support. It also seems like they're going to be pushing part of their cloud-based computing system that they have, where they'll do some of the rendering themselves and push it to the console for you. So
that's what I'd like to see on. Actually, there's one game I really want for PlayStation 4. That it's a Dragon Quest. I can't remember the number, but it's the latest one. What is it?
Heroes.
Yeah, Dragon Quest Heroes. I want that, and I'm hoping they do that thing where you can just buy that little $100 box and stick it on there, and you can play, and they render it on the cloud somewhere. Because I have a Samsung TV, and you don't even need to buy the box. It comes with the Samsung TV. So I'm like, I wouldn't even have to pay $100. I might have to pay a monthly fee, but I could play Dragon Quest Heroes, and that's one of the main reasons. But I'd buy the PlayStation 4 if it isn't available too, because I really want to play that game and with my kids. So it'd be pretty cool. So Anyways, Joel, do you have anything you want to talk about? Or we have a ton of stuff to go, but I want to give everyone a turn here. So, what
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
things are you thinking?
nothing. I don't have anything right at the moment. Let's just go through,
Let's just jump into the big
yeah.
thing that we're going to probably spend a little bit of time talking about. Then let's talk about the Galaxy S6, at least pretty quick here. I can run down the specs, and then we can just talk about that, or some of the notable features of it. So, Galaxy S6 and Galaxy S6 Edge were just released at Mobile World Congress like 3 days ago, and to me they look pretty cool. There's missing the SD card slot was a big downside, but a lot of the other stuff looks really awesome on there.
I was going to ask you, I think you're probably the only one of us that's been using Samsung stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I've kind of had a lot of Samsung stuff. Every time I'm ready to not go back to them, and then every time they release something, I end up buying it again. It's I had the LG G3, and then I got the Note, and I had the Note 3, and the Samsung was just so dang durable. The video LG, it would just stop when I'm recording because it'd get too hot and stuff like that, and the screen was so dim I could barely see it, and it the Samsung's like a workhorse. It just never quits, and it had good battery life and stuff. So the LG was good too, but it needed a firmware update, and I got rid of it before they got that. So it got a lot better.
Use the SD or removable battery that much?
Never ever have I once used a removable battery ever. I think it's totally I don't know why everyone worries about it. I bet if you ask anyone who complains about not having a removable battery, they've almost never used a second battery. Maybe like a bigger battery that balloons out the back of the case, but not But in iPhone, you can just get one of the millions of batteries for iPhones. One of those little battery packs and just plug it in, and they cost less than $20. It's cheaper than buying another battery anyway. So I think that's not a problem.
They did talk about the battery cases already. Like Samsung, I think might even have one that they're working on. Yeah. So
maybe that's their plan, is to sell battery cases or something like that. Make some extra money off of it.
I thought I'd throw up a picture of the Edge. I kind of like that. I think this is an old photo, but
that's the Note Edge with only one side that's curved, and
it's only one side.
The other one has two sides. Here, I'll throw up that.
Yeah, that's way better.
And I guess we had a chance
symmetrical
to see the Edge when we were at CES this year at Samsung's booth.
Yeah, we saw the Note Edge, didn't we? But we didn't see the Galaxy S.
Right here with the two. This one right here is it with the two parts. See what I mean? You can see the one on the left. It's got both sides curving. Let's see if there's any others. That's the concept of what it's supposed to look like.
If I didn't know any better,
compared to it.
If I didn't know any better, on that first picture you showed, the phone on the left is the Galaxy 5. Like, the look and feel of it.
I know the silver border just doesn't go right with the black. It should be all black.
Same button. And I know that
white looks a lot better than the black because it just silver and black. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I think it is the 4 or the 6 because it's got that button. They had to make it a little bigger for the fingerprint scanner. The new fingerprint scanner, they're going to do like the iPhone where you just touch it instead of having to swipe across it, which is the right way to do it.
I think.
So,
hang on a second.
The Touch ID is one of the coolest things. It
is. That was one of the main reasons I went to the iPhone, is because it's like I was always putting in my password and just touching it, and then no one else can get in there, and I can get in there is awesome. So that was why I went with it. Oops, sorry. Okay, so let me just go down the feature list real quick, and then we can talk about them. So it's got that Loop Pay, so you can pay on existing credit card machines and put your credit cards into the phone. And I guess you can pay with magnetic credit card machines somehow. It's got the super high resolution screen, so it's got a 2K screen, but since it's a smaller screen, it's got 577 pixels per inch. It's got, and here's another thing that people won't notice. They won't know what this is, but it actually makes it, this is one of the coolest things, I think. It's got a new kind of flash memory that accesses like a solid state hard drive. It's called UFS, and it's extremely fast. And you can get up to 128 gigs of storage, but what they said is that makes the phone really responsive, and that's one huge thing to me, because I hate waiting, that extra like second or two to pull the camera up or things like that. And I know the iPhone fixes some of that stuff too. Like the camera is super fast to pull up on there, and that's one reason I got it too. But anyways, it also has really fast charging, which the Note had, and that's cool. Like, what is it? You can get 2 hours of video playback on a 10-minute charge. I think it's
wow, that's nice.
I think it's 30 minutes charge will charge it like 50%. And then it's
I
got
read
the new
that.
Exynos.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's just cool. I mean, that's
That's come in really handy for me
They're
with
saying
the
a
Note.
4 hours of play after a half hour of charge, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it says you'll
That-
charge at 50% in half an hour, actually.
That right there kind of negates the need for a separate battery. Like,
yeah.
unless you need a special charge cable, because that was one thing I noticed with the One Plus was that it charges way faster with its official cable than it does with another micro SD cable.
That's weird.
I think that's normal though, because they can only deliver so many amps, can't they?
The
Like,
only
a
thing
lot
I
of them
noticed, I
just
think it's
kind
the same thing as the
Science.
Note 4 has that, and it's the same thing on the Note 4, except the only key is you got to turn the screen off. If the screen is on,
yeah, okay.
it charges quite a bit slower. It's still good. Maybe like say you go 10 minutes, it might charge at 10%. If you have the screen on, but it might go like 30% if you have it off or something. It's fast.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think it's quite as good of a charge if you do that super high speed charging, but there is an option in the battery settings to make it just turn it off to a slow charge if you want also. So, and it's still pretty good. I think it's.
I would wonder.
super handy. I don't know how you guys charge stuff, but like a lot of times I get like a short time during the day to just add a little juice to my phone. That would be cool to
turn the
me,
screen
like
off.
on a
It
car
works on
ride or
iPhones
something.
too. The iPhone's fast like that too. Honestly, I think
It
it's
is,
not
especially if you get
fast, but it's
a
pretty
good
fast.
charger.
Yeah, and the only thing I guess I worry about, but at the rate we upgrade our stuff, it doesn't matter. But like a fast charge like that worries me that it's wearing the battery out.
Especially with the battery you can't replace yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can always phone shops and stuff can get in there. Like you can replace an iPhone battery for like $40 if at not the iPhone store, but at a phone shop. Okay,
I go to the iPhone store all the time.
The iPhone store.
Not the Apple store, the iPhone store.
I know.
That's how new I am to Apple. I'm like,
Rivers.
basically I use their phone and their tablet, and that I don't use anything else from them really. But okay, let me list the last few specs that I had here that I thought were notable specs. All these are the notable things. There's also other little upgrades that are more RAM and stuff like that. But it's got the Exynos quad-core processor, and that's now made by Samsung, and it should be the fastest thing out there, at least on Android. They said it's going to blow everything out of the water, like Antutu benchmark at least. So we'll wait and see, but it should be nice and fast. And that, again, just to me, the fast UI makes a big difference. And then also they said it has a new slimmer TouchWiz UI, so they've taken out 700 megs of apps out of that.
Oh, shit.
And it's supposed to be handling faster, too, so you can just go to places quicker. That's key to me. And then finally, it's got built-in wireless charging, and I think that might actually make
that is
a lot of people go to wireless charging if they finally get one phone that just has it. So all they have to do to get wireless charging is just set it on a dock and it will go. Like at the airport, there's a wireless pad or something just sitting there for like 10 phones. So and it's supposed to support multiple formats too. So we'll see what happens on that.
That's good. Because, like Starbucks rolls it out. I don't know if it's in Boise, but like here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, like every Starbucks now has wireless charging built into the tables in the restaurant.
That's awesome.
Really?
And you can.
Wow. The only downside is wireless charging is a little bit slower, but they'll probably improve it. But still,
like you can, they sell these little rings that you can plug in, and they sell them for pretty much everything. Micro SD, old iPhone, like the 30-pin, the Lightning, and you can just pick it up for like $10, or if your phone already had it built in, you should just be able to set it down and it just works.
I've seen those. So you plug it into the plug, and then it adds wireless charging to your phone, right?
So like in the case of the iPhone 6,
cool.
you buy the Lightning adapter, and then it seems like it's pretty durable, so tossing it in your pocket or in your bag or something shouldn't be an issue with it like getting banged up. But it'd be nice to see if like the Samsung one just supported it in the phone itself. Then you could just walk into the restaurant and set it down.
Okay, so let's go around and would you buy the Galaxy S6? Yes or no? Say they were going to give it to you, but you had to pay for the phone service. Would you take it? So let's go to Joel first.
I'd buy it if it's getting pretty close to an iPhone, so I guess I'd buy it. Seems like they copied just about everything on the iPhone. Like, it's made out of metal. They did a lot of stuff, like the touch fingerprint thing is copied that too. But yeah, it actually sounds pretty good. And the camera sounds awesome. They got optical image stabilization and stuff too, which you didn't mention, but I think that's cool.
And also it has a no SD card slot, so you should enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, that's more like an Apple too. I noticed that. So
Hopefully, the price won't be too bad for going up to the 128 gigs, because that's what I'm definitely going to get the phone, I think, at this point. At first, I was like, when I first saw no SD card slot, I'm like, hell no, I'm never going to buy this. But then I'm like, everything else just looked too good to pass up, so I probably am going to buy it.
A little bit more tempted by the Edge, I think. I kind of like that.
I'd take the Edge, too. If they were the same price, I'd seriously consider the Edge, but I don't know. It just doesn't seems cool, but not useful.
Let's have to see how it feels in the hand. I think a lot more apps and stuff are using the slide thing, slide from side to side. So I don't know if you guys saw that video MKBHD did on The Verge, but that he was talking that up a lot and stuff. So that might be actually kind of cool.
So would you take the Galaxy S6, Owen?
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing for me that kind of pushed me away from Android was the upgrading. Like Samsung, they've gotten better, but it just seems like I just want Android. I don't need TouchWiz. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want like the purest form of Android I can get.
You're a Nexus guy.
What?
You're a Nexus guy.
I do like the Nexus. I mean, and it's crazy that you say they pull out like 600 megabytes of TouchWiz stuff. That is ridiculous. That's like bloatware on a PC. Like, I mean, if they...
It's like bloatware on a PC that doesn't have very much storage. It's on a bloatware on a PC that only has like a free 50 gigs of space too.
If they wanted to,
but that's what they got
have. Anyways, did they talk about how many gigs they're going to have on the internal memory?
I think it's got 3 gigs of RAM, and it's going to have 32 gigs, 64 gigs, and 128 gigs available of NAND.
I see.
So 128 I can live with. I mean, as long as it's not $800 more.
It's basically an
$200
iPhone.
more for that.
Yeah,
probably will be.
It is crazy.
They did really. It's strangely similar to an iPhone. It's weird that they would just randomly come up with something so similar. I'm sure they never looked at an iPhone or anything. So it is odd.
And after last year,
it's interesting to kind of glass back on it too. I kind of thought that was like a bad idea on the iPhone, and then they went and copied that too.
Oh yeah, I skipped over the other spec of the camera. You mentioned it earlier, but the optical image stabilization, and it's got an f1.9 lens. And the other cool thing is you double tap the home button.
It's really low.
Now, any app you're in, you double tap the home button, and it'll bring up the camera. And I thought that was cool. Every phone should have at least an option to enable that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I like about the iPhone. In case everyone hasn't heard, I got an iPhone and I've been using it for the last 2 months. But I also have my Note 4 for a backup. But I like the Siri on iPhones. Siri is pretty awesome, actually. It smokes Android's assistants so far that I've used.
Wow.
See, I don't use either, and I mean,
you're getting some serious hate mail.
Yeah.
I like Siri. I don't know. I don't ask complicated questions, though. I just ask like simple things, like stats and stuff like that.
Dude, have it set your alarms for you. Be like, I need to wake up at 6:30 tomorrow. It'll do it. It's awesome. I use it all the time.
Well, Android does that pretty good too, but. But yeah, I know. I like that. It just does. I hate to say it, but it kind of works. So.
And that's
one good thing. There's some downsides too, but that's one of my favorite things about it is Siri actually. But anyways, the camera on that Galaxy S6 looks awesome. We'll have to see, but it looks pretty dang good.
Specs sound awesome.
So, talking about the Galaxy, I noticed back on your shelf, Rivers, you got the Gear VR.
Oh, I had to break down and get it. Yeah,
Did you put it on for us?
I was gonna start the interview with it on, but I just didn't even think about it.
Done the whole interview with it on.
When you guys are talking next time, maybe I'll pop up with it on at a little later point here. Let's move on to the next thing, and I'll break that out while you guys are talking about another thing.
Before we leave, the Galaxy S6, can we just briefly I want to say that IKEA is going to be selling like furniture that has built-in wireless charging in it. That's I don't know, it's going along. Samsung seems to be like plugging it pretty hard. I think it works with other Qi type of wireless charging, but I think they have some agreement with Samsung.
So I think that was the kind that like the Nexus 7 has, and the Nexus, I guess 4, maybe the 5 has that one also. So it's interesting if that's what the one they're throwing their hat in with. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see that IKEA is getting into the wireless charging. So your nightstand should just have it built in, so you just, when you go to bed, just sit your phone down. You don't have to worry about it.
I just wish they had an IKEA here where I live. They don't have one. It's 400 miles away to the closest IKEA.
Your camera got shifted.
You guys
over
notice something
side.
different? Oh, it got
you look great. You look a lot better there for a second there. Oh yeah, that's better. That's a lot easier on the eyes.
So,
yeah,
Rivers,
so that's what it looks like. But the best thing to do with this is just look at it while you're by yourself, and then it's just awesome. It's like your secret little wonderland in there. It is cool. I love it.
What's
just
the
watching 3D
resolution on the
videos
Note
and stuff.
4?
What's that?
What's the resolution on the Note 4?
It's a 2K screen, and I have to look it up, or I don't know.
So,
off the top of my head.
Is the Note 4 the same resolution as the S6?
Yeah, it is. That's why the S6 is cool, because the Note 4 was a little bit too pixelated, even with 2K screen.
Okay, yeah.
So the S6 shrinks it down a little bit more, and what it is the spots you're looking at are small on the Note 4. It's not taking up the whole screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might actually make it a little bit better. But finally, I can see this being a good option for having 4K video, because a 360-degree panoramic video needs a lot of resolution to build a look clear in every direction. So I can see that actually being a good use for it. I want to get a 360-degree camera, but I don't want to.
You just have to see the future here right now, Rivers. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Don't you want that now?
That looks kind of cool.
No, it actually will be cool.
I actually reviewed a light that has something like that. It had a little bug or something in it, but I should just put the video up maybe.
Okay. Free bug.
I know. You might want to take it back to the store if the light came with a bug.
Yeah, was it like a longhorn beetle from China or something? Or
okay, you guys ready for 2K resolution? That's 2048 by 1536 pixels. So it's like 1/2 of 4K basically, exactly 1/2 of 4K. Yeah. So two times of HD resolution still. It's pretty high resolution.
Well, and what's really cool about that is when you think about slapping that into your Gear VR, then you're basically, if they do it right, you have a 1080p screen on each one of your eyes.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way to look at it.
And that's pretty crazy. I mean, so
that's what you need for the VR. You do really need I would say a 4K screen would not be overkill for the VR, because it's pretty good. Like, okay, the Oculus Rift was like based on the Note 3, which is just 1080p. And I looked at a lot of those at CES, and they're real pixelated. It was still a cool effect, but they're pretty pixelated. Then I looked at the Samsung Gear VR, and it was a little bit pixelated, but looked pretty dang good. So I think if they finally make it to 4K, it would be worth it just for the VR glasses. Maybe not for a phone, but just for the VR glasses. Or you could have a tablet up here on your head, like
exactly.
This big. Be like wearing this around everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so speaking of that, I mean, one of the other announcements that came out of the World Mobile Conference is that Valve teamed up with HTC to kind of do their own VR headset. And Valve for a long time had been kind of internally working on their own VR stuff, but it seemed like recently a lot of their team either got laid off or left and went to Oculus and stuff. And so it seems like maybe they just decided to team up with a company that just does hardware, and HTC is the one they're going with. So they have I don't even know, it's the HTC Vive or VIVE VR headset that they're putting out. So yeah, it seems like now we have some, I guess, with Samsung.
Of it.
We got HTC, we got Oculus, and we got Sony. So now we have 4 major manufacturers producing VR headsets.
Yeah, let me show a picture of that. Here's the Sony one. And that one, actually, I know Sony seems to do this kind of thing right, so I just have a feeling it's going to be good.
So Sony has said that theirs is not coming out until 2016.
Yeah,
so,
like next year. And here's the HTC one, so...
That one looks like a crazy military experiment.
Yeah.
I know, that's the thing, it's a sci-fi experiment or something.
Because it's got, like, IR stuff built in.
This looks like it's got to be like a developer edition. Like, I just can't see it.
Yeah, why really you have to have 3 giant cables coming out the top? Like, why couldn't you go around the side or something?
When you look at it, it goes unplugged. Those are actually an HDMI port, a USB port, and the power port. So it's kind of interesting that it's got the HDMI port built in there. So it almost seems like you could tether that to your PC.
Sphincter?
Yes, you could shove the HDMI cable up your butt and get some 3D colonoscopies going on.
No, I bet these are sensors to tell which way it's moving or something.
They're infrared ports and stuff that it can use to kind of triangulate. There's also 2 sensors or something that have to be positioned in the room somewhere so it can kind of figure out where your head tracking is and stuff.
All I can say is the effect is really awesome, and try it before you laugh at it, just for people who are looking at it. I mean, these were a surprise hit of CES.
Yeah, and that, I think, is the main thing that I want to know about is, like, they need to be working on, like, a standard for VR, because if the best experience is over on one headset, and then the Sony headset comes out or something, and the demos or the media or whatever they're doing isn't compatible, I think you're going to run into some problems.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get it worked out in the next year or so.
Yeah. And I think, like, they were showing off a demo of, like, the Lord of the Rings Smog. Like, basically when you put on the goggles, you're in, like, the gold chamber.
Oh, really? And this was on the HTC one?
Yeah, I believe Valve, I think, teamed up with Weta, and they put together like this VR demo thing. So it's cool. I mean, it seems like there are enough players with enough money in VR that we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff coming out.
I wish you guys were have to look at this thing because have you heard that movie? What's that movie where I just wanted to give you guys a demo of it so you can just try it. Just try it because the effect is really cool.
You just want to get a picture of us with that thing on our heads, don't you?
What's that?
You just want to get a picture of us with that thing on.
I do get I got a picture. I got Mom wearing this thing. She liked it actually. I can't get that up now, but it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
But you know that movie? What's that movie where they fight in they go in these suits and they fight giant monsters and they
Pacific Rim?
Robots.
Oh.
What is it?
Pacific Rim.
They have
I never got to see that.
And you are piloting the Jaeger, one of the giant robots. So you go in a suit that connects you into the robot, and then you like run, and the robot runs and stuff. Yeah. And it's really cool. It's like, and then that's one of the coolest ones. It's like an all computer generated, and you look around, you can see the guy next to you running a monster. I don't want to give it away, I guess, but it's really cool. You got to try it. You just got to try it. You guys,
I'm on board. I want to know that, like, when I make I assume it's going to be several $100 investment in a VR headset, that I plug it into my computer and I can do the Jaeger demo. I can go into the Shark Tank. I just want it all to work, and I want to make sure that, like, the headsets they put out are high enough quality that, like, I hope we don't have.
Do you want a dedicated headset that's separate from a phone?
I don't know.
Just having the phone makes it cheaper is the main reason.
The Gear VR is a cool concept because, like, if you're already investing a couple $100 in the phone and then you just have to buy the attachment, that's awesome.
I think that's the way to go.
That was the reason. If you look at the Oculus Rift, it's $600. And if you get this guy, it just pops in here, like, you just pop the phone in like that, and it's only $200. So it saves a lot of money. I mean, if you already have the Note 4. If you don't have the Note 4, it's more expensive, but it has a higher resolution screen still too. So
and I think that's a cool concept. I think that works really well. It just, I'm excited to see VR. I want to see some, I don't know.
The best way to do it is have a friend who has it. Then you can just try it and not have to pay anything for it.
But see, you keep
ship that over to us, Rivers?
Like,
come out and visit me. You can use it all day long.
Oh yeah, well that'll happen. That'll happen very soon.
I hope they have a steady stream of content because, like you say, you try it. You try it out, you watch that demo, and that's it. Then it's like, okay, what's next? So they also need some companies behind it saying, like, here's some, good games or, something. I mean,
they have a couple games. They have actually quite a few games. A few of them are decent. That's where I started feeling sick a little bit, though. It was a game where you're going through this meteor field, and you kind of just you move your head to steer you, so you're going like this a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's how you steer, and that's how I got kind of seasick for like an hour afterwards. And I'm the kind of person I can play first-person shooters for like 8 hours straight, and I'm fine. But that made me feel a little funky after that. So that could be a problem, but it was so cool I couldn't stop. It was just awesome. It was really cool. In fact, they have Shadowgun. They have couple others. They have another thing for Google Cardboard that you can also use on there, and they're going to be giving away VR goggles for I think with an LG pretty soon that will work on Google Cardboard's app. So you can get into it for real cheap with those because they're goggles. I mean, basically all there are some lenses and then something to black out the sides.
Yeah. And
then you run Gear VR or the Google Cardboard app, which is free too. So there'll probably be some pretty cheap versions available pretty soon.
Very cool.
So let's see, what else do we want to talk about here? Do anyone have anything they liked in the news lately or Mobile World Congress? I have quite a few.
I've got some wearables I wanted to show off today.
Okay. I'm interested.
Well, the first one's it's going to be a big hit I think this year. It's my Timex.
Oh, is that analog?
Yeah, this is analog. This is going way back, but I don't think it's going to do quite as well as this one. The Pocket Watch is.
Oh, nice Pocket Watch! Oh man, you got it.
These are making a comeback. I'm serious.
And that one's got a self-power, right? You just pull that little thing out and you twist it, and it charges itself up.
Is that the iPocket?
Nice.
Yeah, this is the iPocket. It's going to cost around $500, I think.
Okay, nice.
It tells time, and
you can hypnotize people with it, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can do that too. Those are the only two wearables I have today, though.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing. I guess no one can compete with that. I'm just going to take this 4K camera and throw it out in the garbage now, I guess. This is, I guess, just my quick item for the day I'll show off. I finally got a 4K Sony AX33. It's exactly the same as the Sony PJ710 that I've been shooting with all this time, but the only difference is it does 4K. Well, it's got a lot of upgrades in it too.
It doesn't have the
price has come down a bit.
What's that? Let me show you. This is the coolest thing. The Steadicam is amazing. See the lens in there? See how it's the whole optical block moves separate from the camera.
Okay.
So you don't need a like a.
Do it a little faster.
What's that?
Drop it
a little faster.
It's hard to see in this camera, but.
Can you drop it?
Yeah.
Can I drop it? I wouldn't want to do that. Anyways, it does really good. If you're walking and shooting, it can take a nice shot. Whereas a lot of cameras can't do that, even if they have like optical steady shot. It's not as good as having the entire imager and lens and everything moving at once. So it's really awesome. It beats my old Sony by ways. What's that?
It doesn't have the projector built in.
I think it does have a clock on it.
But what about the old Sony you had when you went to CES? Had that cool projector built in?
Yeah, it doesn't have that. I laughed at that first when I got it, and it actually turned out to be really cool. That's this guy here, and the projector is awesome. Yeah, it doesn't have the projector. They're going to have a European model, I guess, that is going to have the projector, but I couldn't wait for that, so I just got this one.
How come the Europeans get all the good stuff?
Yeah.
The really nice thing, though, is it takes all the accessories from my PJ710 or the PJ810. So I had this battery. It's like an off-brand battery. It costs like $25, where they're like $100 and something, $125 or $150 from Sony. So I can use all the accessories on for my old one on this one. It's like the same camera, basically.
Hold that up again. Is there a USB cable going into the hand thing? No, flip it around. What is that
thing? You could if you say you go and traveling somewhere and you're in an internet cafe, you could just plug in a USB cable right into a computer. You don't have to carry any adapters or anything.
Nice.
That's their thing they like to do. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I forgot all about that. And it's got a couple other cool little things. It's got like this ring here. You can do it focus, but you can also do it the aperture, the white balance, the zoom. You can adjust it to whatever you want and put it in auto or manual just by hitting this little button right here. So that's one nice thing. It's like they spent all the money on that button and the optical steady shot, and they didn't put any other extras on it. It's pretty basic other than that.
I mean, but it's only like $1,000. It's like under $1,000 for a 4K camera. That is freaking sweet.
And it also shoots this new codec that's Sony's AVXC, and it looks awesome. Even in 1080p, it looks so much better than my old camera, or almost any video camera I've used.
Do you need to buy?
It's higher bit rate is what it is. It's 50 megabits instead of like 20 or 28 is the highest I know of, and it just looks awesome. It looks really professional.
Does it use SD cards?
It uses regular SD cards. It doesn't even have built-in memory of its own. It just uses SD cards only now, which is fine with me. I got a 128 gig in there now, and it works great.
can you just clock it down to 1080p if you just want to shoot nice 1080p video?
Yeah, that's what I'm actually doing. My software's still having a little bit of a problem editing it, like it's occasionally locking up during rendering. So yeah, just clock it down 1080p and it looks better than my old one. I think it does some extra processing in there, so it's sharper.
That's cool.
What about slow motion? Does it do like slow motion at a smaller frame rate?
It does, but it's not that good. It's 120 frames per second at 720p. So I'd rather shoot on the iPhone. It looks. I think the iPhone looks well. The video quality looks okay, but it doesn't. It's not slow enough, you know. So.
Does it make a ticking sound?
It ticks occasionally when you like switch modes. It will click once over to the, when it opens and closes the shutter lens cover.
Yeah, hopefully you have extra for that.
Compared to your stopwatch.
So what are you currently using for your video editing though? Like, did you have to get a plug-in for the new codecs?
No, it supports. Well, I got Corel Video Studio X8 is my main one that I use, and X8 I got it 2 days after I got the camera. It just happened to come out, and it has a new codec for the Sony camera.
Nice, that's good.
But also, I think Premiere will support that because it's Sony's. It was kind of a higher end thing for a long time, and they always supported like the highest end stuff. Premiere and After Effects and stuff. So I think they will. If you go CS 6 and up, will support it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it does.
Okay. Now, speaking of watches,
what's that?
What's the new codec called?
Sony X AVC, I think.
Okay.
Speaking of watches, you guys saw the Pebble time?
I saw a little bit about it, but I don't know a lot about it other than just that they released a new one and it's color now or something, right?
Well, it's not out yet.
Released it right in time for the Apple Watch.
Yeah, well, I think that definitely has a big thing to do with it because Apple hadn't announced their date of their conference yet, but I think everybody knew it was coming in March. So basically, Pebble has kind of come out with it's called the Pebble Time, and it does have a color e-ink display.
That explains why they did a
e-ink's
Kickstarter.
Awesome.
I just figured out why they did. That's why they did the Kickstarter for the Pebble. They wanted to make all those people commit to the Pebble right before the iWatch came out. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, because right now
they did the most successful Kickstarter ever, didn't they? It got like $19 million in like 2 days or something like that.
They're sitting at $15 million right now pledged.
Okay, it was huge.
They got 63,000 people backing them, so they've already sold 63,000 of these watches. And the original Pebble was a cool concept, and it had a black and white e-ink display, but this one with the color display, I think their biggest selling point is they're saying that they're looking at 7 to 10 days of battery life.
Still, with this color one? Oh, so it's it's like the color screen that's kind of like not real bright and stuff. It's kind of like a Game Boy used to be.
I guess in a way, yeah, it does seem a little bit like a Game Boy, but it's sunlight readable, so like a Kindle and stuff. But where like the Kindle's e-ink is kind of herky-jerky when it's shifting, like this one's really slick. Like if you watch the little video that's on their Kickstarter, like the transitions are really nice and stuff. So I mean, most of the other smartwatches out there, the Android Wear and stuff, definitely have a much higher resolution. But if you're able to get like a week of use out of this guy, that's pretty good. And they've said that all the existing applications that have been designed will work. Plus, they have like a new app platform they're working on. And I guess the next thing that they announced recently was just that they have what they call smart bands, which I guess are going to be bands you can get to add functionality like GPS or different things like that are not built into the core unit itself necessarily. But right there in the middle, you can see their all-metal version. So I guess when they launched the Kickstarter initially, they had just the plastic model, which is over on the left.
I can't see it. Can you put that up onto the share screen?
It is, isn't it?
Oh, now I got it.
So they announced the one on the left, which I think is just the base model, which is like $160 or something, and then they came out with the steel version, which is the like all metal faceplate and stuff, and it looks pretty slick. I mean,
it does. So would you buy? Are you a Kickstarter person on that?
Nope. I find it kind of shitty that they went to Kickstarter because they don't necessarily need to. Like, they did this so that they could get all that publicity.
They're kind of taking it away from
like a
someone
throwback
else.
to thank Kickstarter. I thought they were doing it thank Kickstarter, but now I think it was to get ahead of the iWatch. I'm almost sure that's what it was.
The publicity they've had, because every story, it's either about the Pebble Watch itself or, hey, we broke Kickstarter goals. So even sites that don't necessarily talk about the device are talking about it in just the fact that, I mean, they've raised almost $16 million. You can go buy the Pebble at Best Buy. Like, this company doesn't need to do a Kickstarter. So it's
basically most Android watches copy them now. I mean, that's a lot. What they did is they tethered to a phone, and now every other watch is tethering to a phone. And they're the only ones that seem to have done it right, though. But
I think that was smart of them to use e-ink. I like that idea. Color e-ink is really smart. The thing that pisses me off about the Apple Watch is that you have to lift your wrist to be able to see it. Like, the whole point of a watch is that anyone can see it at any time. Like, you know. I like it personally that you can. I don't want my watch always on though, as far as a bright glowing screen. Like I had the LG G Watch, and it was just always on. And I work in a dark lab too, so it would be like everyone would be noticing my glowing watch all day long. You know, there's no way to turn it off. It had no option to turn off the screen other than run out the battery. So
I like having
at
least an option to have it off if you want, you know.
Yeah.
And it should adjust to light levels too, just like most displays have that option. For
I can't believe you're saying that, Joel, because usually the iWatch Apple can never do anything wrong.
I don't want an Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, I'm not very excited about that.
You never know when you see it. You say that now, but then you see it, and all of a sudden you want that thing.
I think it's
second gen products are better.
Yeah. I mean,
the Pebbles are second gen.
Yeah.
There's no GPS. It's not waterproof. It's not for me.
That's true.
I'm gonna wait till I see it. You never know. I think it might be able to tell the time also, like your stopwatch there.
Yeah.
One of the things though that I will say that I like about Pebble is that it's cross-platform. It works with Android. It works with iOS.
True.
Like right now, I really like the Moto 360. I think that's a really slick-looking watch, but it only works on Android. And the
iWatch might only work on Apple.
I suspect for the foreseeable future, it is only going to work on Apple stuff. Like, I mean, they had a record-breaking holiday season with the iPhone 6. Like, they could just cater to just the Apple crowd and be totally fine for right now. And the Pebble's nice though because, like with Joel's watches, that watch is going to work all the time. It doesn't matter what phone he's using or anything. So I don't want to make a multi-$100 investment in a device that, next year maybe I want to switch to Android and my iWatch doesn't work, or I have an iWatch, so I'm stuck in the Apple ecosystem. Like, I want to know that my watch is kind of like my media. I like my media to be device agnostic. I go with Amazon because it works on all the platforms.
Anything I buy, I do buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
At least you can get it out of there.
Yeah, I actually think that's really pretty good. That's pretty smart, Owen. I actually like that idea. Maybe that's why some of these companies are going to making their own operating systems for the watches. I mean, obviously Pebble, but also isn't Tizen its own thing too?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Samsung?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Samsung that's what they want to become, like an Apple. Like, they want to have their own app store and sell you music and apps and movies and everything. So they have to get away from Google to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's going to lead to more fragmentation.
The app store. If you want to have Android and be supported by Google and be Google certified, you have to have their app store and a certain core feature of all their apps too. Like, there's about 10 or 20 of them that you have to have. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to be required to do that because they want to take all the money instead of Google getting it. So, and I think they could pull it off, but the way it is now, it's ridiculous because, like, I can go to Google Play or I can go to Samsung's app store and I can then pay for the same app twice. It's like, I don't want to do that. So
well, and that's
garbage.
That's kind of the issue with those Android consoles is that,
I've had that before.
We had a separate ecosystem than Google Play, so if I bought a game over on my Android phone, it doesn't necessarily show up on my Fire TV. And so I'm hoping
the Nexus player, it does work on. I just did that today, actually. I revived the Nexus player. In fact, it's running right over here.
Yeah. And so hopefully with, like, the Nvidia Shield, since it says it has Android TV, hopefully that means it has the Play Store built in, and if I've already bought Knights of the Old Republic once on Android, it should just work. I mean,
I know that. I've done a ton of buying of the same app over and over again because it'll be on Amazon. Actually, I got a lot of them for free on Amazon. They'll have these specials all the time. So
exactly.
I'll get a lot
they have their free apps and stuff, and they try to incentivize you with these big bundles of free stuff. But then I don't know, it's just there's too much fragmentation there, and it's unfortunate.
There is, but on the other hand, stuff's so cheap too. I mean, like an app is cheap, but the console's cheap. The console's usually only $100 to $150, so it's not such a big investment, anyways.
Hey Rivers, can you bring up the Kickstarter page again real quick?
Sure, maybe. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go.
And once you've brought it up, if you scroll down, they actually have a little bit of an animation midway down that shows the transitions on the e-ink and stuff. So keep going.
Here?
No, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You'll see it. Keep going. Right below that, right there. So, like, this gives you an example of how it works. And even though it's e-ink, it looks really nice. Like,
I see.
I like the
it's like a colored e-ink.
Yeah, I think it handles 32 different colors or something, so it is pretty basic, but I like the simplicity of it. I like the transitions and stuff. It looks really cool.
I hope that quality is just poor because of the video.
Yeah. It definitely has a lower resolution screen.
I think it's a GIF animation, so it's choppy. It's probably more fluid than that normally.
Yeah. I just was wondering about the resolution. As long as the resolution is decent, that looks pretty cool.
The resolution's pretty low, but for me, I'm not going to back the Kickstarter. I'll wait until I can go pick it up at Best Buy. Like, they don't need me to back it. The only reason I would back it is to boost their number, to make them even bigger on Kickstarter. It's no big deal. It's coming to retail. I'll wait until I can pick it up there.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. Price is $179 if anyone wants to get it on Kickstarter right now. So it's probably a discount over what you'll get when it comes out to retail.
Yeah, I think it's retailing for $200 for the base.
Yeah, sounds about right. So you get a little discount if you buy it now. And Apple iWatch is probably going to be. Did they say 350 and up basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the starting.
They impress sometimes, but. To me, I don't know. I'm just a camera. Really like cameras. I'm kind of a camera guy. I wish they would put a camera on any watch that I want to get. Probably. I know a lot of people don't care about it.
But you want to walk around like this? Come on.
Well, they could figure out some way to maybe it swivels or I don't know.
There's no way you would need two screens or like a little thing that pops up, a little camera that pops up off the top of it.
Okay. I'll have to come. Oh, it's not here. Darn it! I got the Neptune and it has a camera on it. You can detach the watch out of the band and use it like a little.
And drop it
if you want to. Yeah, skip it like a rock. It's really fun. Well, it's pretty big, so you kind of might hurt your arm while you did that. No.
Yeah, that big ass pocket computer you have for your arm.
Yeah, I could show it. I'll show you real quick. Hold on.
Here. While you're doing that, I'm going to show off something here.
Okay.
Unrelated, but if anybody out there, probably no one out there has an iPhone, but if you do, you might think about getting one of these Olo clips. I know I've talked about them before on my channel and stuff like that, but this is the new one for iPhone 6. It's Olo Clips 4-in-1, and it just clips on pretty easily like that. And then it's got a fisheye lens, a wide angle, which is double the angle of the lens that comes with the iPhone, and then it's got these two macros underneath, one macro underneath each one. And I took this photo, which you can't even really see for some reason.
It's a bug.
Just hold it there for a minute longer.
Is that the bug that came with Rivers' lamp?
Yeah. I took this with I'm not flipping you off, I'm just trying to show you. With that's nice. Like inside a Poppy, just with that lens, so it's pretty
cool. That's the key to Olo clip selling is the bug pictures.
Yeah. Did you ever end up getting the set from that guy at CES, the body glove guy?
No, he put me off. He said he got some big orders that came through, and so he couldn't do it. But he said he didn't even get a review unit to CNET, so I didn't feel too bad.
Okay. Now, is it in retail yet?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.
Nice.
Do
you think you'll just
might do?
If he actually went to the trouble to tell you that, he probably really did want to get you one.
He said he's going to give me one in 2 months, but I mean we'll see.
Okay.
I hope so. That'd be awesome. I still want to try it out. So it was 2 different ones, Anyway.
This is the Neptune.
Whoa, it tells time.
Yeah,
just like mine.
It's almost as good as your stopwatch.
Wow.
But it does.
Hard
to do it in mirror image, but it's running full Android. I mean, it's got the camera, front and back cameras too, by the way.
That's big.
It is big, but that's just more style.
Oh yeah, I bet all the ladies love your swagger when you're walking around with the Neptune.
Well, I haven't worn it yet.
Do they sell that in gold? Gold plated?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, boy, from
that's a weapon. That's a weapon, man. Can you even take that on a plane?
God.
It's about half the size of an Android phone. At the time, it was like the best smartwatch available. I still like the standalone idea. You can put a SIM card in this and run it as
you're
a
getting a workout just
phone.
lifting that arm, man. Just do that a few times a day.
Jeez,
yeah,
that's ridiculous. Like that's not the smartwatch future I want. If that's how they're going to be,
everyone laughs at it, but someday they'll understand.
Really.
I haven't worn it
Yano
much.
6000 of watches, what that is.
I haven't worn it much. I'm kind of afraid of the jealousy it might inspire, so I don't wear it. I'm worried about someone trying to rob me too much.
Well, so have you seen a little bit? Man, and you wear that one to the dark room at work, right? And you just light up the entire building.
At least this one will turn off if you are in the dark room. See, so that's.
Oh wow!
I'd love this watch if it was just everything it does except smaller. I would actually be really happy with this watch. They released a new version too. It's kind of like a curved bracelet kind of thing that does. It's like permanently curved and it has the whole top is screen and it looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having it, but I don't know. I've lost the bug for smartwatches. I used to be really into them about almost exactly at CES last year, and I don't know. I haven't felt like I needed one. The smartphone is just so good. I haven't really felt like I needed the watch anymore. And
that's the thing.
And all the watches require you to carry a phone too, so it's like, what the point, But this one does.
As long as it's tethered. Yeah, it's basically a phone itself.
It is a phone. It takes an SD SIM card.
And that's for me like the big thing is that like I maybe don't want to necessarily take my phone with me. I want to go running and I want to maybe wear
exactly.
a wearable.
Well, if you have a Note 4, you can't go running with it. You'll pull your pants off while you're trying to run. It's so heavy and big.
And that like for me, I wish like the new Fitbit.
What's wrong with that?
What is it? The Fitbit Charge, I think it is their new smartwatch, but it looks too industrial. Like I like the Pebble, I like the Apple Watch at least for the fact that you can change the bands on it. So like maybe you have a more industrial one when you're at the gym, but then you're going out for a nice dinner. You don't want to have this piece of plastic or that fucking 20-pound computer on your wrist. Like it needs to be a little slicker. I mean, like Joel's watch that he pulled out, like those are timeless timepieces. Like those will always kind of be socially acceptable, and like you're not going to have a problem with a watch like that. Like I don't know, a lot of these wristbands and these other things, it's just like you talk about at work, like your watch.
For you guys. One question for you guys: Would you rather have this and wear it out for the day, or one of those clocks like Flavor Flav used to wear with a gold chain, except it's an iPad with a clock on it? Would you rather wear that for the day?
I would just say
the Flavor Flav thing. Flavor Flav. I like that guy.
I'm gonna say if it was a customized version that I could, like this is, I would go with the Flavor Flav. But
if it was gold plated,
plus gold, worth something.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that they were gonna like just make the casings of the Apple Watch like so that you could just basically take out the innards when the new one comes out and plug that into it. I don't know. That's probably just BS. But I think that would be smart because of what Owen was saying. Huh?
I think their plan is to make a bunch of accessories and make all their money off that. I was reading an article and they said anyone who buys an iWatch is going to almost for sure buy $75 worth of accessories with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Just a band alone.
If you're spending $500 for a watch, $75 is like nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to come with like a cardboard band or something like that, and you have to upgrade to straw or bamboo or gold, whatever you want.
All right. I think we're good. We're good here. I think it's time to wrap it up. So, if any of you guys want to point anyone to where they can find you, go ahead. You want to start there, Joel?
Simpletech Rev on YouTube or simpletechreview.com.
Okay.
So that's me.
Where should they look for you, Owen?
Don't look for me.
Don't look for you. Okay.
Yeah, you can find me in Mountain View if you want. I'll be walking around on the streets trying to avoid all the Teslas.
I always see like 1 or 2 Teslas here in Idaho. They're not too common. They don't have any chargers here that I know of. I think there might be one coming to Eagle, but
so somebody drove it from California.
They just had to drive back to California each time they charge it.
Actually, at Micron, I work. There's a lot of pretty rich people there, and that's probably that pretty high concentration of Teslas for Boise.
Yeah.
I'd like to ride in one and just see what the acceleration is like. That sounds awesome to me. Anyways, let's wrap it up here. You can reach me, of course, on Somecooltech on YouTube, and like me on Facebook at Somecooltech on Facebook. That's the best way to get a hold of me, or just get sneak previews and stuff of what I'm doing and what I have coming out. So, thanks again for watching, and take care. Aloha. See you guys.
Peace. Aloha, suckers.